Hello, I'm a spiritual counselor. My name is Jessie Lyne. Today I'm going to read to you your everyday energy fortune forecast, the story of your life from June 1 to 15, 2020. June 15 until 30th, the story of your life will be on my next video. Please subscribe and don't miss it. In this reading, you are going to find out what is going to happen every day in your life. Your lucky, powerful days, and the days you need to be cautious of. You can know what's ahead and what's going to happen so you can manifest your own future. You can transform the story of your life for the greater good, a way that is positive for you, that can benefit you and other people in your life. You can able to change and go into a different fortune that is not going to have a negative impact on you and other people, and be satisfied in the story of your life. You can edit and change the story of your life in the way you can by knowing your day-to-day fortune of your story. Okay, thank you. Hello Aquarius, here is your everyday reading of the month from 1st to 15 of June 2020. So let's get started and see your card. Okay, so now let's start reading and find out what's ahead of you. So let's go on the first. So on the 1st of June, you are trying to juggle too much. You're trying to juggle too many things in your life. You need to take at least a short break to eliminate the stress. In case you are feeling that you can't handle everything, you need to consider your own well-being and provide yourself with the time to breathe. In your work, avoid committing a lot of things since it will overwhelm you. So on the 1st, you are feeling overwhelmed of the work. So on the 2nd, let's go on the 2nd. So on the 2nd, something is within you, something that triggers you to make discoveries. Indulge in investments or take the next advancement in life. In this day, you could be just about to take a move on a certain idea, but some conflicting messages keep coming to your mind and you get discouraged. Maybe you have to resemble your inner battles which are preventing you from expressing your heroism to the world, and let the world know that you exist for a reason. Remove the fear, gather your resources and do something. Let the world know that you are there and you have no jokes and about moving forward in the path that you choose. So on the 3rd, you have been trying to move on and make the transitions you need, but you may be experiencing challenges making this a reality. Okay, so on the 4th, you need to change your approach. The tactics you've been using are not working. A kind of renewal of conscience. You or someone in your circle may be deciding to unburden themselves with their guilt and come clean about some piece of manipulation they have been involved in. And trusts have been broken, but with a confession, you may be in the road to repairing it. Okay, so on the 5th, let's go on the 5th. So on the 5th, you lack of focus. There's a possibility that you are being distracted with lots of things. Try to borrow some talents and focus your mind before moving on to the next thing. It may also indicate that you need to give yourself a break to refresh your mind, and you are currently feeling overwhelmed due to the heavy demands in your work. So remember that it is always better to ask for assistance and complete the work rather than to try to finish it all by yourself and end up failing to do so. So in terms of love, you are probably in a solid and steady romantic relationship, but perhaps someone else has caught your interest lately. Okay. So let's go on the 6th. So on the 6th, there is frustrations and delays. You may feel angry that you are not getting anywhere, and you may be trying to compensate for something that you don't have total control over. So this might need the permission and loss of self-esteem on the 6th. Okay, so let's go on the 7th. On the 7th, you are drawing near to something. You may have many accomplishments that have lined your path, but there is a strange emptiness that fills you when you look backwards upon it, as if you have all the pieces, but they are not coming together. What is missing? Do you feel connected to what you are doing? Do you feel connected to others? What aligns you from feeling complete, from feeling whole? Tie up loose ends right now so that you can be happy at the moment. Reevaluate your goals and make the adjustments as necessary. So now is not the time to indulge in feelings of disappointment. You are close to what you'd like to achieve. Remain consistent and you'll find comfort. So on the 8th, this judgment energy reminds us that we will be faced with choices that will have an astounding effect for our entire life. The moments where actions you have taken have changed the course of your path for good. There may have been a moment where there is no looking back. This day, on the 8th, the consequences of those actions eventually will catch up to you, and it seems to indicate that this is the time. You may have to let go of the past so you can move forward with your plans to have a new life. This energy represents the moment when we reflect and evaluate ourselves and our actions. It is through self-reflection that we can have a clearer and objective understanding about where we are now and what we need to do in order to grow as humans. Okay, so on the 9th, it's a moment of rest, and you need to gain strength and clarity to gather new strength and prepare to face a new challenges. It's time for healing, means restlessness. Your heart is willing to relax, but this is not what your mind wants. You feel that you have too much, and following this path is not advised, as it could have effect on your health. You can continue to fight, but sometimes that is ineffectual, and you must have enough awareness of your own strength to decide when to back out. To rest, to retreat is a means of self-love sometimes. As though you may try to push ahead, that will not make only it difficult for you in the long term. So on the 9th, you need to rest. So on the 10th, the balance that was once there is broken on the 10th. This balance was an integral part of keeping the individuals together. But to break it is to create disconnection and discord. The negative energy of two forces is present, and instead of them joining or attracting, they seem to repel each other. You may be finding that certain small details that were not problems before are coming into play, signaling that one party may have resentments. A line of communication that allowed you and the other party to openly talk about disagreement has been cut off, only worsening the cycle of resentment and imbalance. So, be the first to open up, and you may find the problem much easier to repair than you thought it would be. So, on the 11th, you must understand that there are due to external influences that we cannot control. Like the wheel, our luck and our fate is always in motion, and sometimes we are at the bottom. Assure that we will turn again and we will be okay again soon. So this day, what you should do is cling to the illusion of control. Perhaps in these turns of the wheel, the lesson is to learn to let go and release. There are things that cannot be moved by human will and action alone. When we do not let go, it can only bring more suffering. For you may blame yourself for actions that could not have altered the situation. When we learn to accept, we also learn to forgive ourselves. We learn to move on and move forward, and eventually, we learn that this feeling of acceptance can push the wheel again forward and it towards a new cycle. Okay, so on the 12th, you should remain objective in your current situation. You must establish truth by sticking to the fact. You will need to use your intellect to make your point known and attain your goals. Besides your experience and education, you should be sharp and observant to see deeply into problems that come your way. You need to be stern in your role while ensuring that you have clarity of mind at all times. When judging a situation, you need to consider all the possible consequences to make an appropriate judgment. You will need to leave your emotions out of the judgment so as to remain rational thinking at all times. Okay, so the next on the 13th, there may be a desire here to keep up appearances, to have all the finer things in life even when we cannot afford to do so. Where does this stem from? Take this an opportunity for you to figure out what is most important. A moment when we truly seize, perhaps for the first time, that we cannot depend completely on material wealth to bring happiness. Okay, so on the 14th, you are finding it difficult to listen to your intuition. It is time for you to meditate and try new approach. For at this moment, the rational approach will not work. Something has been telling you to follow your gut, but you may be ignoring the call. There is a lot of confusion around you, and your actions may feel contrary to what you know is right. You must never be afraid to ask questions of yourself that may illuminate a new path forward for you. One that is more authentic to your inner self and your individual values. Okay, so on the 15th, the last one, this is about encountering a stalemate. On this day, two equal and opposing forces are joined in battle, and there seems to be no end in sight. This wasn't what you had in mind when you chanced to walk down this path. And you will find yourself caught in the middle, without something or someone to intervenes. This may continue indefinitely. We find ourselves in a situation where we must make a choice We can side with one part of the situation or we can side with the other. Neither seems particularly appealing, which makes the decisions even more difficult, but unless we move past this stalemate, there can be no more progress. So you have lucky, happy, and powerful energy days for you on 16 until the 30th on my next video. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching. Don't miss the part of the story of your life from June 16 and on the 3rd until the 30th, 2020 of my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe and see you. Thank you and have a nice day.